Hey y'all, it's Anna V, and you, my friend, are listening to the All-American Wing Shooting Podcast. I am a hunter, conservationist, mom of 2 girls I have raised in the outdoors, and a proud owner of a truck full of dogs. My passion is guiding you to confidence, sharing in tradition, and celebrating the true meaning of success in the field. Here we go. Welcome back to another episode of All-American Wing Shooting Podcast. Today, I have a dear friend through social media and the phone. Maybe one day we're going to get to meet on here to talk about being a woman in the gun dog world. And it's probably one of my favorite topics. Raelynn from Wild Acre Kennels up in Minnesota. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. I'm finally glad we can meet, I guess. Someday we will. Maybe we'll make a trip down south and kind of see your whole farm and layout.
I just want to come up there. Just so y'all know, we've already been on the phone for an hour. Just chatting. Okay, so let me tell you what I got going on behind the scenes here. My favorite thing is this mug. This mug starts my day every day. You see, it's already got a crack. It's almost all the way to the bottom. This is legit crack. It's not a scratch. And I only have 2 left out of the entire set.
Oh, no.
This one, the crack's on this side. Okay. Well, they don't make this anymore. And I don't know why, but this handle is my favorite thing ever. So I'm going to have to get with a potter to make me new mugs. And I know, like, I took you with me to make more coffee, and I'm like, I got my 2 mugs ready to go. These are the only 2 mugs I have.
I'm just a big
on 12 years.
This is it every day.
Maybe I should try. I just like carrying a mug. Even during carpool, I'm going to school with my mug, not like...
Oh, God. I have to use this no lid. The no lid thing, that's what makes it every morning. If you spill it...
lid. With all of your puppy chores, you're no lid.
No lid. If they get a little coffee, it's fine. It's not going to kill them. They'll be okay.
Okay, so... Unfortunately, you had to stay home and hold down the fort, but I did get to hunt with Andrew in Wisconsin last year. Mm-hmm. We goose hunted there. It was like, I don't know, maybe the beginning of season or whatever. So for y'all listening, Andrew is her husband. He's a sweetheart. And they raise labs and train labs in Minnesota, living their best life.
Well, the weather's not great, so I wouldn't say we're living our best life. We've had tornadoes here the last 2 weeks, and I think we're going to watch until Thursday. I mean, we are living the dream, though. You know, we're our own bosses. We breed cute little puppies, train dogs, but now it's like 90 degrees outside, so it's not that great, and the fields are flooded, our pond's flooded, but we're making do.
Well, I understand the heat being here in Georgia. I don't know.
Oh, it's horrible. It's not good. It's not hot in Michigan. That's the thing. Like, if I could just take what we have and go to Michigan, it'd be 10 times better. There's
just
trees.
So you know, this is her soapbox because she's from Michigan, and all she wants to do is like, can't we just open a kennel in Michigan? Like, how hard is that?
That's what I want to do. We need like Wild Acre Kennels 2.0 in Michigan.
All right. So anybody listening that is like, I want to sign up for Kennel Life and I can relocate, just go on and message Wild Acre Kennels and let them know.
We're always looking for workers, or if you want to take over my business while I build a new kennel to like my standards, not my husband's standards.
Oh my God, did you just say that?
This is too little. I'm not like
you've been listening.
And everything has to match here. Everything has to be brown with like a green roof. He did great work, but now he needs a woman's touch here. It can't be brown.
He is very particular. And let me tell you, I'm usually the snack queen on all the hunts. Like, I totally rated his snacks, and I'm like, Andrew, these are the same snacks I would have. I'm like, oh my God, we're BFFs, like, immediately. It was so funny.
He knows. He learned 4 years ago, if I don't have snacks for Raelynn, or at least 4 drinks, like 4 different drinks, candy, beef jerky, anything like that, this road trip's not going to go good. So he always has like a snack box or something because he knows I'm going to eat it, but he is very particular on everything. It's got to have this snack, this drink, this kind of water. Everything has to match at our house. He's just very particular, which
it was so funny.
Whatever.
We're there, and like these guys have been wearing these clothes. I don't know how many stops they've been on, right? And then there's Andrew with his pressed shirts. And I'm like, this is amazing. I was like, are you sure you're not from the South?
That's where we're like opposites, because I'm like, I'll just wear a t-shirt and like leggings or whatever. Like we were in a newspaper last summer, just like doing they were doing an article on us because we were like the couple that owns the dog kennel around here. And he looks, he's in his nice work clothes. And I'm like, I just came home from the vet. What do you want me to do? Put on some makeup, like brush my hair? I'm like, no, I'm going to wear a t-shirt. I'm going to wear a hat. I'm going to wear leggings. And he's just very prim and proper. I love him though, because I think it's a good like match, because I'm kind of messy. He's very neat. And it's just like a good, like intertwining thing.
Okay. So you don't drive him crazy with your chaos?
Just like my little random ideas, like now we have chickens. I want to get some mini cows, like things like that. He thinks they're messy. So
you just say, how many more mouths do you need to feed?
Well, I'm on the wait list for a couple Scottish Highlanders out in Nebraska. Yeah. So we'll see when I get the call.
What are you going to do when those show up? And then you're like, oh, I'm headed to the Northwoods.
Well, I see dollar signs when I see animals. That sounds bad. Like, labs make me money. You can breed Scottish Highlanders.
You can.
People want to take pictures.
Anything. We have a small herd of Wagyu. I love cows. And we started in horses. And then I got into bird dogs, and I was traveling with 2 short hairs to all the horse shows. I'm like, these dogs are way more fun and way less like maintenance. So as soon as Casey got out of horses, I was like, Tater, you can have as many dogs as you want, which we did have a lot of dogs at one time. But
I think now dogs are work, though.
But you know what? Like, you've already talked about your love for labs. It's kind of public that I trash talk the lab world for forever, because I immediately got sucked into the short hair cult, and that is so thick. And and I loved it. But you're right, because when Tater was smaller, it was easier for her to gain complete independence with the lab world quicker than it was for the short hair world. And I realized, like, it probably depends on if you're an expert at all of this, like, you can probably do either one. People don't realize this was my 7th bird season. I literally was learning as I was talking about it. And so I never really said I knew what I was doing, but I shared what I was learning because I was so excited about it. And now it's like, holy smokes, there's all these women that want to get started, and they're just as gung-ho about it. And I didn't have a female mentor. I've never had a female mentor in the bird world, like in the gun dog. And so I was like, thank God for the men that didn't judge me and about, the girly heart things that we love and how we baby the dogs. I know they do behind the scenes, but they don't want to promote it per se. But yeah, so that's when I was like, okay, I may not know everything, but I now know the importance of being a female that has experience and sharing that experience with others so that they can grow in their own journey. Like, let me help you grow. Well, whatever you want to do, like if I've got any way to help you get to that next step, I want to give it.
Yeah, I mean, it's I didn't grow up, around this hunting world like waterfowl or upland or shed hunting. I mean, I grew up around coyote hunting, deer hunting, fishing, and we had pointers growing up. My parents always had pointers. And then we got labs, and then I had a hound dog, which he's our little baby. He's 13.
I had a hound dog too.
So he's a running walker. He's like a geriatric dog now. He's got like dementia. He like sees things. So he's at my parents, and he lives there like 6 months out of the year. And then he comes here in the winter. But I didn't have, my dad raised me to be like, I have a brother. He hunted, I hunted, but my dad raised me to do all the boy things, and I am like forever thankful for that. And then I met Andrew, and I was like, God, I love dogs. I worked at a vet clinic for a really long time, and now he got me into waterfowl hunting when we first started dating, and I was like, this is like the best thing ever. And I was like, I bet I can do more with this. And I was like, hey, you got a camera? So I start doing our pictures. So I'm like our little photography girl, and I shoot birds every couple of times or whatever, but my thing is just getting out there and then like seeing all the people, I guess, just doing what they love, or like being with the dogs, I guess I should say. Yeah. Hunting's fun, but watching your dog do what they're bred to do And when I say like I see money signs in dogs, like, I mean, I don't mean that's my paycheck every time, but I mean, that's what they're bred to do.
Yeah.
So if I can hook up the next female in this outdoor industry and get her a dog that she wants to go do shed competitions, or she just wants a hunting dog, or she wants to do field trial stuff, then that's what I'm going to do to get more people in this industry. And I think it's like the best thing ever.
Okay, so here's a fun fact. Women, of course, are the fastest growing demographic in the outdoors. However, they're the first to fall off. So what happens is everybody has this interest, and then they're like, how do I get committed, or where do I find my place? So that was why I created Women of Wing Shooting. It was like, okay, we're going to cover everything with feathers. And luckily I've got, some friends kind of in every single sector. And it's like, if somebody comes on there and they're getting educated, which we've done a whole series from the beginning of the year, gun fit and like being successful in the field. Mm-hmm. Each month it's a webinar. It's a free webinar that we do typically every third Thursday night for an hour. And it's just little tidbits. It's like women hold back because of the fear of the unknown. So I said, okay, waterfowl season is so short. Upland season is a little longer, but still it's half the year, right? So what do we do the other half of the year? I want to make sure that they stay connected and that they're growing in their confidence. So I was like, I'm just going to get on here and just share random things that I found valuable and at least get them familiar with the verbiage and what's coming. Or like, that way you're not just fishing in the dark.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think, when you say like they fall off, it's true. There are so many women on TikTok right now because that's like the biggest thing, or Instagram, not so much Facebook anymore. I feel like Facebook's kind of like fading out like MySpace did. And now Instagram and TikTok are like the end things. And you see all these.
Happy that you even know what MySpace is. I'm like, there's no way. So young.
Thing ever. And you just see all these women and, they're in the outdoor industry, but I think the problem lies where it's a whole facade and it's a whole front that these girls are putting on these social medias. And there's nothing wrong with looking good and going out hunting. But when you're just doing it for the gram and you're not actually getting educated on gun safety or running gun dogs or, traveling to go hunting, you don't have to go to Kansas or Missouri or Nebraska or Saskatchewan to go hunting, or Wisconsin or wherever, but just getting out there and actually like knowing what you're doing and not just posting the image. Because I think that's the problem, is they think it's so easy. Well, I can have my boyfriend take a picture in my $1,000 hunting outfit, whatever brand it may be, and my whatever brand gun, and then his lab that he got when he was 18 years old. But are you actually
actually your life? Because these dogs are my dogs. I didn't do all the training. Like I didn't train Mercy. She was my first one. But every other dog, I've done all the training. Having littles at Mossy Pond right now has killed me. But I'm not set up for training anymore. And the level that I wanted her, I haven't been mentored under that level yet. And I was like, I got to stay on the track that I'm going. Because somebody's like, this is not even a lie. They opened up a training job down in Mossy Pond, and I'm like, do me and Tater want to move down south? I was like, I love it there. But talking about the ladies on social media, that has been the biggest thing, like the biggest crush for me is like, I'm not opposed to women having a platform. I think that is amazing. But instead of just being popular, and I say this all the time, and it probably comes across super egotistical, but at my age, I have a little bit more wisdom and a different perspective than the majority of ladies that are building platforms on social media. And I like, bring value that you cannot outgrow, right? Like, you're not going to be cute for forever. You're going to get old. You're going to have kids and all the things, and things are going to change. It's like, nobody can take away your knowledge. Nobody can take away your experience and your wisdom. Those are things that you should be investing in. And it's like, kills me when there's videos of females that totally sweep a dog in a field and get 3,000 likes. And I'm like, yeah, why didn't somebody look out for her? Like, why didn't somebody say, hey, that could come back and bite you in the butt? Not that she needed to be called out or treated bad. It's like, she probably just didn't even know.
Just to be educated.
Yeah. And so I was like, man, I just have always like kind of just stayed quiet about these things, but it does bother me because I'm at the point now where JC's going the political route. She's not going to fall in this. Maybe Taterbug will, but she's 10. It's like there's a huge gap with what we're facing now politically. Is like, is little Tater even going to have a chance? And these girls that are coming behind me, the generation behind me, where are they in the fact that they need to be rooted in knowledge and principle? Because they're out there stacking up ducks, but is anybody talking about what's going on in DC?
No, they don't. They're so uneducated. And I think like the moment I met Andrew, he's always like, we have a business. We got to learn to bite our tongue. And I always have, because I was born with, oh my God, my cat, really. This is farm here.
You were the first person to ever be on All American Wing Shooting podcast with a cat.
Well, the cats Andrew didn't want, but he's like, you got to be respectful. And I've always bit my tongue because we're representing Wild Acre Kennels here. And I tell all of our employees that, but it drives me bonkers. And like, it shouldn't, because I don't let a lot of things bother me. Like, I'm pretty like even keen, easygoing. Nothing bothers me. Like, you could literally like destroy my vehicle and be like, well, at least it wasn't me. But these girls, they have these bird dogs, whatever. They have a lab, they have a short hair, they have a Vizsla, whatever they have. And they're so uneducated, but they're taking these pictures with these dogs, or you'll see these videos on TikTok and there's a dog running out to retrieve a bird and there's people shooting up over to the left. And I'm like, what are you doing? You are so uneducated. Like, not only is that the safety of the humans, it's the safety of the dog. And like, I think because we're in this dog world that dog safety is like our biggest thing, or we see which is great. People want to train their dogs themselves. And I'm on like waterfowl TikTok right now. These girls are training their dog and I'm like, what are you doing? You like, call a trainer, call me, call Andrew. We will walk you through the process. You don't have to come to my facility, but the way you're doing things is not the correct way. And any trainer say that.
I don't want the holes in my dog. I want her to be solid. And we've talked about this. I cannot wait to get into HRC. I am so excited. I love that kennel atmosphere. We've talked about this in the past too, about it's so fun to town hop across the country and hunt different lodges and meet all the people. But there is something so special about getting connected with a kennel family and growing.
Yeah.
Growing within that and having all friends and all things. And it's probably like the most celebrated time of my life is having that opportunity. So I always feel the loss of that when you get on the road. But it's like, okay, God called me to share that and say, hey, ladies, like, you don't have to do it the hard way. I'll never forget. I love the gun dog world. I'd rather handle dogs than anything, but I'm a shooter. I'm a better shooter than I am a dog girl, but I've put more time and I have more reps with my gun than I do with my dog, right? Like, I've probably raised like 8 dogs of my own, and then I've had, a trailer full of other dogs, but to take a dog to like a master level, I've not had that opportunity because I just did dogs during COVID. But so it was like, I just wanted to have this place to say, okay, let's set a standard. Like, nobody's setting a standard. Nobody's setting that expectation. But the men somehow, it's like understood, right? It's like, these are the legends. These are the guys with the books, with the videos, with all this. Like, they set the standard. But as long as a girl looks good, and it's like, you can do so much more. So the whole purpose of everything that I'm doing is to show women, like, these young girls, somehow, this is what I asked a guy. There's this sweetheart of a guy. I think he lives in Minnesota. I found him on social media and he's a camera guy. And I've really wanted to connect him with a solid company because he's super creative. He's in his 20s. He's building custom duck calls. He's doing like old soul things at such a young age. And I'm like, he's unique, right? So I gravitated towards him as like, I just feel like kind of the mom of this little gun dog world is like, we've got to help him find somewhere where he can grow. And so he was messaging me about some other opportunities. And I asked him, like, how is it after going to NWTF, it looked like the entire industry is ran by 20-year-olds. I was like, how do y'all have the finances and the time to do this? Like, this is expensive. This is a massive commitment to have this. So not only are they just out there having a good time, and I'm like, how have they figured out the secret? And if they have, how do we, with all of our knowledge and experience, help them keep it? Because it's not that I want to call them out for doing things a different way or whatever, as long as they do things the right way to carry on the tradition, right? It's like, let's make sure that this doesn't just stop because you did take a different route.
Well, I also think like not even like the gun dog world, but the hunting industry in general is it's segregated. You have, this brand over here and this brand over here. And if you don't have $1,000 hunting coat and pants or whatever, you might as well just not get into it. And then you see these old school people that have their dad's hand-me-downs, and they're the ones out there they're the ones really getting with the hunting. I mean, but then you see everyone else out in their expensive stuff and their expensive boat. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with spending thousands of dollars on your stuff. And there's nothing wrong with going to Walmart, but your attitudes are different. I've hunted with people that have they think they have the most expensive dog, the nice boat, the clothes, the call, the gun. Yeah, you've got all this stuff, but are you actually understanding what's going on here? Where you go hunt with these old school people, and they're the ones that are taking in the most. They may not be getting, sometimes they're getting the most, ducks or whatever, but they may not be getting the most ducks or whatever, but they're the ones actually understanding what's the meaning behind hunting and being in this industry. And same with the dog world is, if you don't have this $3,000 dog, junk, or you could buy this $4,000 British Lab, and it doesn't mean anything. You could have the most expensive dog in the world, but if you're not training it properly and you're not putting the time and the effort to actually letting your dog do their job, you might as well just sell the dog. You don't have to have an
that whole message that you're preaching to the why, right? I preach about whys all the time, especially in instruction. Like, why are you here? What do you want to get out of it? And I've had ladies sit there and talk about the why they sell it to their dog is because they're miserable in their relationship, and then tears fall and we're passing around Kleenexes, to the why is that they just want to feel confident with a firearm. Like there's different perspectives of why people come, but when they identify with their why, that's where the commitment comes from. Yep. And so, where if you go and get instructed by a man, which I've only had men instructors, whether it be in the dog world, with the exception of Susanna. Susanna's with Hunt Smith, on the pointer side. So other than that, like, it's always been men, even with my shooting instruction. And very rarely does anybody say, like, why are you doing this? Why do you sell out to this? Why did you change your entire life, to sell out to dogs or to shooting or to hunting? And that's just a really big factor for women to feel like they have a purpose and that they have an end game or they have something to strive for. I just feel like the lack of emphasis with this younger generation on our rights is just gonna just wreck us. And I'm really involved with SCI, and we don't have a huge group of young people in that organization, which it's always been perceived as a safari and big money circle to do those hunts. And that's not the truth. Like, I talk about what they do for us as wing shooters all the time. And people don't want to talk about it. Like, they just don't want to talk about it. It's so great what Ducks Unlimited has done in creating a club, right? Because JC, my oldest, she just graduated from UGA. She was the first female to be chair of the UGA DU chapter. I mean, we're super proud of her for sticking to this because they bring the young people together. But it's like, they're still habitat conservation work. It's like, that's great and all, but we are facing, like, literally losing our rights. And the young kids have the influence and they have the platforms to share all this. I don't know how to motivate them to say, hey, what you're doing is super cool, but let's tweak your message just a little bit to where you're making massive impact. You know,
Well,
and so like the thing that I say all the time is like, I don't want to be popular. You know, I want to be legendary. I want people to say, thank God Anna V didn't shut her mouth. Thank God when she lost her social media because she talked about what was going on in the real world, that she just came right back. You know, that's the whole motive of it. It's like, where are these kids that have the platforms that I never will have, like sharing this message because it's so important.
Social media is huge. I mean, it's everything nowadays. That's how you find out about things firsthand. It's not a text message, it's not a phone call, but these younger generations have the platform, but how they perceive things and how they are portraying their messages is not the correct way to get people involved. And that's what I meant by you're blasting that you have all of this.
It's actually very intimidating. And they may not realize you're so right. Like you get this super cute girl in her super cool clothes with her tricked out side by side, all the things like other women are like, I can't do that. And she's like 22. Yeah.
And it's the thing, it's like you don't have to have this big beauty image to get into this world. It's using your platform in a positive manner. It's educating the younger generation. Like you can make a difference if you just use your platform to make that positive message instead of not exploiting yourself, but blasting yourself all over social media with this expensive dog, this expensive this expensive that. And it all boils down to money when it comes to the hunting industry and the gun dog world, because everyone thinks that you need to have this expensive car. And if you want to go places, or expensive car as in dog, we like to refer it as a car. If you want to go places and you want to do these hunt tests, then yeah, you're going to need the pedigree. But you don't need top-notch gear unless you're going to go into negative whatever degree weather and go hunting. But use your platform in the positive manner to get people involved, but tone it back on the blasting yourself everywhere. You know, tone it back on the pictures where you're all dolled up in your expensive gear. It's so frustrating.
And it really is. Like I try to adopt every single one of these 20 to mid 30 girls that have alignment with me. Like if I run across their like Fulcher's the last one that I'm like, I adopt you, girl. Like I could not wait to get to NWTF this year just to actually hug her neck. And it's like, I love celebrating these young girls that figured out this world way before I did. You know what I mean? I didn't figure it out until I was in my mid 30s. And they get such a jump start. I'm like, all the things that you are going to accomplish is amazing. And like, I just want to celebrate them. And so it's like, for me, it's frustrating when I sit here on we want to say like the adult side of things, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, man, girls, you have such a gift, but
utilize it properly.
Yeah, if they don't understand how to create that longevity in it, they're just doing what society tells them they should do.
And it's whatever they see online. That's the problem.
My mom has no advice for me in this world. Like I just kind of had to figure it out. And it's like, if I hadn't have gone into it at the age I have with the life lessons that I've experienced, and then I was also raising girls in it, right? So my perspective was, I want to make sure that my kids get the experiences because this is the coolest life we could ever have.
Yeah.
For me, I mean, like I wouldn't trade anything, the hurdles, the nightmares, the figuring it out. Like it's hard, but it's so rewarding. And so I don't know, like I didn't ever think I would get back into marketing to women and creating opportunity for women, because I was telling you, like I did that pre-COVID. And then when COVID happened, I wanted to focus on my own potential. It's like, how do I maximize these gifts that were given me? And I kind of started talking about it yesterday a little bit. I shot with Demas recently, and going through just like hard times of life, I would say shotgun fell into my lap because of Ducks Unlimited here in town and our local chapter. They wanted me to host a shotgun day, and I was like, for sure. And that showed me what I didn't know. It put me in a position to say, you don't know anything. And I was so motivated to figure it out. You know, it's like you with the dog world, when we were talking about this, like you just like, how do I have multiple kennels and how do I share everything that I've been given. Like that was what I felt like. Instead of being like, oh my gosh, I can't do this. It like sparked something in me that was like, this is my purpose. Nobody in my life had been a wing shooter or have gun dogs. And I was like, I want to do this for forever. And I don't know how to make this my life because I didn't even know you could like the outdoor industry was the way that it was. But I've kind of been dabbling in little parts of every bit of it that's given me a lot. I would say my network. Like I can rely on my network now for any situation that I get into. I can pick up the phone and call somebody to help me get out.
And that's the nice thing. Like that's the positive to having a little bit larger platform and the social medias. You can utilize that in so many different ways, and you just have to basically ask yourself, what's my purpose in this industry? Like yours is like the hunting world, and then you're dabbling in all this gun dog stuff, which is awesome because there are not a lot of women that actually do things with dogs. You might own a dog, but are you putting in the work to actually do anything with that dog? And that's like, and when I was talking to Andrew the other night about this, and I'm like, look, like this is what we're doing. We already have a name picked out for this little puppy. Her name is Sticks. And I was like, I'm doing field trial stuff with her. Like that's my calling. Like I love handling my dogs with them. I'm not like a pro because my job is the puppy stuff. Like that's my calling at Wild Deer Kennels. That's what I'm good at. I have the education for it. And that's just what I love to do. I love the temperament testing. I love getting to know my customers, but I want to do some field trial stuff. I want to travel.
That's challenging to you. Like that's hard. Field trials are hard.
And that's what I want to do. And we're surrounded by great people. One of the other kennels near us, we use his dogs for stud dogs. And he's like, come to my seminars. And I'm like, really? Like, he's like, yeah, come to my seminars. He's like, Andrew may not like it. And I was like, well, he doesn't really do all that stuff. Like we do handling and we have advanced classes and stuff, but I want to do more because I feel like that's more my forte. We're not like obedience and upland and intermediate and shed hunting training. Like, when
we were filming in Wisconsin and we went to the lodge, like the pheasant lodge there. Gosh, I can't think of the name right off the top of my head. But anyways, Brad Heidel with Delta Waterfowl was with us. Well, Andrew didn't go. And I'm like, listen, I need your dog. Like, I don't have a dog here. And our guide, I live in Wisconsin, and I titled one of his dogs. And so he had his new puppy that is killing it in the BDC. I mean, she's winning everything, little Penny. And I was there when he first got her and starting her and stuff. So I was like, I got to take Slash. Slash didn't even have a collar. We just turned him loose on camera in the pheasant field. No collar. He's never even met me before. It was so much fun. But I mean, I love that part. Like you say, you just find your little niche, your little bubble within so much opportunity. Yeah. And this is the other thing that keeps bringing me back to shooting, even though I'm just wanting to be so deep in the dog world, is that women are selling out to dog training, right? Well, they don't have, necessarily the shooting skills to match the training on their dog. So their dogs are ready to go. And so that's where I come into play. And I'm like, listen, I love my dogs as much as y'all love y'all's. Now let me give y'all the shooting skills and you just take your relationship with your dog to the next level. And that's the most rewarding thing ever because it's the sweetest thing in the world to see all these ladies with their dogs and how much they love them. And
it's not a man's best friend. It's a woman's best friend. And like, there's so many people out just like on social media. They've got the dog, which is the car, but can they match it? They don't have the shooting skills. And I'm not saying I'm the best shooter in the world, but I do our photography. So that's, I want to film those memories and I want to take pictures of those memories because it may be our dog's last hunt. You just never know when it could be your dog's last hunt or it's the last time you're going to go to that location. And you may limit out and the next time you're like, oh, well, I can't get any good photos. So I want to remember everything and I'm taking all these pictures and.
Oh, girl, documentation is my biggest downfall.
Oh, I love
idea what I was doing, traveling across the country all the time with my kids. And I really don't have anything to show for it now that my social media is gone. All the stories that I wrote in the captions, I didn't save any of that. I mean, I was like, I'm just a female bird hunter. Who would want to delete me?
Uh-huh.
And they did. And I just cried because I'm like, all my memories were wrapped up on this app that I didn't have control of. All my friends that I made along the way, all the things. Like, it was just like somebody just took the most special part of my life that I just celebrate so much and just deleted it.
Yeah,
and you just can't remember. Like, you can't remember all the things.
No, I'm huge on the documenting part, and I want to get better at the shooting part, but I think my biggest thing is I love watching especially because Andrew and I only hunt together. We never go separate. Well, I don't go with other people, but he may go with his friends or whatever, and just watching him put his work in how many years he's been doing this and dog handling and guiding and shooting and whatever, and watching him send our dogs, those are our kids, we don't have any kids, do what they love to do, and then watching Andrew do what he loves to do. And it's this is my calling. My calling is to be this husband and wife duo with Andrew, running this kennel, hopefully opening up another kennel. We'll see.
We're waiting on the phone to ring with your staff.
I mean, I did look at some properties when I was back home. He doesn't know, but I was just doing it behind his back. But just doing that stuff and watching our dogs perform and watching Andrew do all that stuff. And it's you're never going to get these moments back. And that's why I think it's really important to get people out there, especially the younger generations, the younger kids, get them out for those youth hunts, whether it's deer hunting, waterfowl, upland, shed hunting, who cares? Get them out there, because you're not going to remember the one time you took them to Target or Mall of America, but you are going to remember the time you took them hunting and they got so excited and they got the shakes because they shot their first deer, or they shot a goose or a duck or whatever it is, or they sent their dog out on a retrieve, and this is the greatest thing ever.
Okay, I love that you bring this up because I am not the traditional parent, right? I grew up playing organized sports, school sports, all the things. But when JC decided she wanted to sell it to horses, it's a very similar lifestyle as to the dog world, right? But I just feel a greater purpose within the dog world than I did within the horse world. I didn't feel I was really fighting for anything. It was just great family atmosphere for us. But then when Tater took to this, I was this is the way to raise kids. If you have a kid that goes to school all day long, because, I've homeschooled too. She's back in public school. It's I'm not on the road like I was before. So she's oh, okay, well, we'll just go to school. And if it gets in the way of our hunting schedule, then we'll go back to homeschool, right? But the kid is under somebody else's influence all day long. And then they go to practice all evening long. And if they're very competitive, then they're going to play on a travel team, or have one-on-one coaching or whatever. Your kid is only with you really when they're sleeping. It's how much influence do you really have on your kid? And that's such a big topic right now. Is man, I want my kid to be surrounded by like-minded people that are just, going to be rooted and down home in the same values that we have. And I cannot stress enough what I found with the gun dog world. No matter if it was from New York to California,
they're all great.
Even though we're in such different cultures, is
you all the same purpose.
It has been mentored by the best of the best human beings, because we're just all in this wing shooting gun dog world, and it's crazy how it brings people together. So she started running hunt tests when she was 7, and just to see these strangers, see a kid walk up to the line, everybody comes, everybody's cheering your kid on, and I mean, it'll literally just bring tears to your eyes to see all these people. I mean, I'm not saying there's not drama involved, and there's not, some of that drama. But it's just so crazy to see how many people that you don't even know celebrate your kid. It's wild. And then Shannon Nardi with SRS does an amazing thing with college age kids. It's called SRS University. So one test a year, they bring in all the pros with the pro dogs. You don't need a dog, you don't need experience, you get a coach, you get a dog, and they're helping get these kids introduced into this. And it's okay, well, college is great because they have the freedom to kind of travel or whatever, but how do we do that at a younger age? Because as expensive as the gun dog world is, I still think it's less than what people are paying for their kids' sports.
Oh, 1,000%.
And this is so family oriented. I mean, this is my favorite thing. I told my dad. My dad isn't a hunter. My stepdad, but my real dad has been a hunter. But I just claim all 4 parents. I have like the best 4 parents in the whole wide world. Well, he tags along with us, and he just has the best attitude. And so I was showing them all these hunt tests and all the things. It's like a massive tailgate, everybody with their grills, and everybody's just like feeding everybody, and I'm like, this is so much fun. It's very similar to the horse world, except for you're just not sitting there watching a horse go in a circle. Like,
yeah,
this is way more social, I guess. And he just can't wait for Tater to get involved, because he's like, we're going. So it's so funny that my parents have nothing to do with this world at all, and they can't wait to get on board just because of the atmosphere and the culture of what we experience.
Well, everyone just has that. You're all there for the same reason. You're there to watch these dogs work, because they are working dogs. That's, like I've said many times, they're bred to do. I'm so thankful that I got involved in this world. I mean, like I said, I've been involved in hunting my entire life thanks to my dad, but the waterfowl industry, northern Michigan, just doesn't have a ton of that. They're all like protected dams, or we have marshes that are protected and you can't hunt there. They're all protected species around the area. So you have to travel down south, to go to the cornfields, because it's basically like where I grew up is like Canada. It's all pine trees everywhere, because we're like 40 minutes from Canada. Or you have the Great Lakes, and it's just the coolest thing to come out here and see everyone that has the same end goal. It's like to run your dog, or, to basically do management of these birds, which it's just the greatest thing. Or see people like, yeah, I just got this gun. I learned how to shoot it last year and I'm so excited. Or I got this gun for Christmas. And we see a lot of kids here because their families bring their dogs here to get them trained. They're like, yeah, I want to get little Sally Sue involved, or, my son involved in hunting, and they're excited. They're excited to get their dog back. They may not understand it now. They're like, yeah, I have this dog and I'm really excited because he's been gone for 12 weeks. But they're going to understand that when they're 10 and 12 years old and they're out hunting with their dad. Like, oh, that's why we sent him to training.
Yes. And it's so worth it. It is so worth it. And
100%.
So Brad Arrington, I was on a podcast with him not too long ago, and he said that dogs do create a different bond with females. And he was talking about his wife, like, because his dog ran for Tater. They were at the beach, and we were down there doing some content and and just running dogs, and they're coaching me on HRC, trying to catch me up to the level that I should be while my dog's finishing. And she ran their dog, and he was perfect for her. And it's like, how in the world, like, this dog just came off the trailer, just like, see this new little kid, and does exactly, and I'm talking like blinds, 200 yards away.
Yeah.
And he was like, it's just something about the dog, like they have 4 kids. The dog was raised in the house, bonded with his wife, loves their kids. And that's a special dog that you can just be like, oh, here, give this kid this dog and go let him just rock it.
Our dogs are like that too.
Independence, there's nothing like that for a kid to have that kind of independence.
Dogs love kids and women more, and I'll never be able to like explain why. Like, I mean, some people say it's because we're more affectionate or we're a little bit softer. But Kai, Andrew's dog before me, she used to love Andrew. She was his guiding dog, went everywhere with him. And then I moved in, and it's like, see you later, Dad. Like, I'm mom girl. Like, she just, and Slash. Like,
and I love that you say that. How old was she?
So Andrew got her when she was like 8 months. She's 6 now. So she was 2 when I first met her.
See that, and that's something else. Everybody's so worried that their dog's going to forget them, or, and this is just a totally random topic, but when people are like, new hunter, new shooter, but they want to get a dog, I'm like, go get a finished dog. There are breeders and dog trainers that have dogs, right, and they're out of their prime, but that's the perfect age because they are rocking it, and they need a retirement home. That's the best way to get started because you've got a dog that can teach you all the tricks. Yeah. I don't know what in the world, why somebody didn't tell me that. I ended up with a wild short hair with a motor that was like a thoroughbred for my first dog, and I just picked up a shotgun, and we were total chaos. Now, we had a ball, but we were talk of the town because We were literally a circus, you know, and it was fun, but I think, man, it was like my third dog. I went and got an experienced dog like that. And she was so steady and she was so patient with me. And, I didn't have to worry about making a mistake. I didn't have to rush on anything, you know? So getting an experienced dog as a first time dog owner is priceless. And they will bond with you. That was the whole thing. It's like, people are like, oh, well, they may not love me or whatever because they're older. You stole Andrew's baby.
Oh yeah. I mean, I love the idea of getting a started or a finished dog, but it's always the price tag that people put on there that kind of scares them away because they're new to this industry. And we see it all the time with our litters of puppies. We get phone calls, obviously, like, do you have a started or a finished dog? And we get them sometimes. You know, we'll buy a litter of puppies or whatever from, I don't know, somewhere. We'll do some trade work and then we'll trade them and we'll sell them. You know, they're finished dogs and they're usually like British Lab dogs or some American. But the only thing that we run into is it's people have this mentality that they can't bond with them. But they, you know, I'm all for getting a finished dog, but some people can't afford the $4,500 price tag when they can go get a puppy for $1,500, $2,000. But it's the process of where, like.
But just talk about that. Okay, so if you have to buy the puppy, and if you can get a dog at that caliber for $1,500, you found a deal. So then you're looking at an average of $1,000 a month for training, plus birds, plus your travel to go visit your dog. And if you want a finished dog, you're looking at a year minimum worth of training. So your intro
without experience
is going to be like 3 months for your intro training. Then the dog may go home for a couple months, and then you're looking at a minimum of 6 more months to 8 more months of getting your dog ready. And that's just for the field. That's not running hunt tests or tournaments or whatever. Like, that's a hunting dog. So if you can get a dog for $4,500 and you don't have to let your dog leave, your dog comes that way. That is like a great mentality. And I'm with you. It's hard to sell that to somebody that's like, but I just want the puppy experience. Okay, well, you're still going to get your puppy experience because the rule of this whole world is once you get one, you get another.
Exactly. I mean, I love the finished dogs. I love the started dogs. But the problem we run into with that situation is usually we sell our finished dogs to their older couples. They hunt, but they don't want the puppy stage. But 99% of our customers are dead set on getting a puppy, which obviously that's my business. I'm going to sell you on a puppy, but we match them with puppies. So you don't pick out your own puppy. Most bigger breeders do this. So I do temperament testing. So say you wanted to buy a puppy from me, you're going to tell me, you know, you want a yellow lab female. So you're on the list for that. You're going to tell me what kind of on and off
switch. You know me so well.
It's like I can just read your mind. You know, if you want an on and off switch, like, do you want a high dry? Do you want a fire breather? Do you want a dominant female? Do you want a submissive? And then I just do like a process of elimination with all of my customers. And 9 times, actually, I shouldn't say 9 times out of 10, 100% of the time, customers love this because I'm giving them a puppy that's exactly to a T what they want. And one of my puppies out of Kai from a couple of years ago, she's actually a shed dog champion. And I matched it with a guy from Kansas. He's like, look, you know what I want. I'm a trainer. He's a judge for shed hunting. I think it's like UKC or something. I don't know. He does something down in Kansas. Really nice guy. And she's a shed dog champ, like grand champion. Like,
okay. So, and I love that you bring this up because you're right. The bigger kennels that are breeders do this. And it is such, a blessing to the dog owner because typically anybody that's coming to purchase a dog is only going to pick it off of looks
or which one's going to the wife.
It chose me first, you know, and it's like, and then the inconsistency, which people don't understand of how these, just because you fell in love with a mom doesn't mean that the dog's going to be like the mom.
Nope.
I've been really lucky because I ran 3 generations, a grandmother, a mom, and then the puppy. I ran and I loved it. But you're right. There was a lot of inconsistency, like the grandmother, firecracker. Up until the day she died, that dog was a rock star. And then the mom, the middle one, she was laid back and just kind and chill as could be. And then my dog Littles is kind of a combo between the two.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's an interesting, we used to allow people to pick out their puppies. And I say it's an interesting process because a lot of people that haven't gone to a bigger facility to get a puppy before, I'm not saying we're huge, but we are a larger breeding facility. We're a larger dog training facility. We've been doing this for a really long time. Our name's out there that, this allows me to get to know you as a customer. And then you're you're getting to know me, and I can write all my notes for 6 weeks. And I'm like, okay, yellow collar female. She's a little bit more submissive. She's kind of following the leader, where pink collar female, she's a go-getter. She's off doing whatever she wants to do. And you want that independent dog. And then identically, everything that I have told them about these traits on the personalities and everything, my temperament testing, she's going after the clipped wing first, which people will probably get so mad at me for this. I do not believe in going after the clipped wing first. That's just an old school myth, because I've had dogs and they're fire breathers. That does not mean they are going to be the first dog to pass my bird and gun class. That's just an old school trainer myth where they're still.
Hey, what about this one? This is another wives' tale that circles around down south. So are the whiskers under the chin? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Okay, the more whiskers they have, the better dog, the smarter dog, the higher intelligence. I know that is a big wives' tale down here. And it was so funny when I first started picking up dogs, was like, that's what my old timer that got me into short hairs told me. It was like, just make sure they don't breathe. And I'm like, what?
We have so many families that are like, well, which one picks up the wing first? That's the one we want. And I'm like, well, first of all, I'm going to match you with one. But honestly, I just don't believe that. I don't believe that your dog, you have the pedigree. Like, the pedigree's good no matter what. You've got the hunting
socialization is so important. Yeah, what are you going to do with this puppy when you get it home? Yeah.
Like, the puppies are socialized with us. They're out on the grass. They're going after clipped wings. They're going after sheds because we have shed hunting families. They're in the water at a week old. They're desensitized from household noises. I do so much work with them, but we have these old school people. Well, I got this dog, 20 years ago, and the breeder said, whatever one's going after the wing first is the one you want. No, I just don't believe that. And I've been doing this for such a long time where, I've had dogs where they're the laziest ones and they're just going to obedience families. They don't do any type of hunting. This little old lady, her dog was the one going right after the clipped wing first. And that was the best one out of the litter, but it's not going to a hunting family. But it just doesn't make a difference. Like, it doesn't mean your dog's going to be a fire breather if it's going after the wing. And I mean, you can get people just like that experience of, bonding with that breeder. Cause I mean, you're kind of picking that dealership like a car dealer, you're trusting them to pick you the perfect puppy, just like you're picking a breeder that has, finished dogs for sale. It just kind of depends on that customer on whether they don't want to deal with the puppy stage or they want that bonding time with that puppy. So we do both. It could go either way. We don't typically do started dogs because I'm not raising someone's dog for 6 months. I'm just not doing it. Then you get into the
only you. That was what I was telling you this morning. Like, I'm a hot mess today because it's just me. When you have a staff and you have, your schedule set and all the things, but you're doing multiple things, like even grooming. It's just a lot. And that socialization, those first 6 months are so important. And that's the whole thing. It's like, if you're going to buy a puppy and then let somebody else raise it, why not just go get an older dog?
Well, exactly. I refuse to. We have people that are like, well, I can't come pick it up on that weekend when it's supposed to go home. Can you raise it for a month? I refuse to. I will absolutely not, because then you're getting into, and this is what's different about our kennel to a lot of other kennels. We don't have kennel rats. All of our dogs take turns in our house. They all live in our house or they're in foster families. We own 18 of them, I think, across the U.S. And they're in foster homes. They can go hunting in the in-season and the off-season. They're part of our breeding program. And then once they're done with their contract of breeding, they're their dog. But then when you're starting to raise these started dogs, they're in a kennel for 6 months. Because I'm not bringing that dog into my house where now I'm getting attached to it. now I'm ruining my floor because I'm potty training that puppy. And it's another mouth to feed, and I just refuse to do it. Where if I already have these, we had a litter of, 4 British lab dogs. They were 5 months old, and we trained them from start to finish, 5 months until they were done with intermediate class. But they're missing out on that key thing to making a successful dog, which is socialization.
Mm-hmm.
They're around humans, but they don't know how to be in a house, because I'm not going to bring in 4 British labs into my house that aren't my dogs. So now they're bonding with me when they're actually going to go to a home. And then they're potty trained and everything because they're in this environment where they're let out at certain times. So they go to the bathroom or whatever. But to have a good dog, you have to have a socialized dog. Yeah. And they were good. I mean, I brought them everywhere outside. I played with them. So they were really good. And they came from a really, really good breeder down south. But it makes a world of difference when you raise a puppy until 8-10 months old and then you sell it. Because now it's just in your kennel. You're not going to bring that thing in your house because then you got wife that's getting attached or you got kids that are getting attached. Socialization, to have any good dog, you need a socialized dog.
Yeah. I'm like preaching here. Amen. Yes. Like take that dog everywhere. And we do. I've only raised 2 puppies at a time for us. Because of that.
1 or 2. Well, 1. Yeah. But we have multiple dogs. So we don't. It's kind of nice because our work's cut out for us. Like, we don't have to play with that puppy all the time. We have dogs here to do it for us. That's why we always have 3+ dogs. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 here right now. And Quill, she's in our foster program and she's due on Friday, so she's not going to play with the other dogs. But we always have 4+ dogs at our house usually, or 3+ dogs. So we don't have to, we're doing the potty training and stuff like that, but we're not playing with it all the time. We have dogs where they can have that human contact to play with them, but playing with other dogs is way more important than playing with me. Because now I'm just allowing you to scratch me and bite me, and now I'm just correcting you, where they're kind of following the leader of those obedience-trained dogs already, which is kind of nice.
This was so much fun.
I know. I'm so glad we finally got to do it
on a regular basis. And
it's like a good venting session.
Talk about coming to Minnesota and seeing what type of hunts we can put together.
Let's do it.
Yeah. I need to put a goose hunt on my schedule.
We should. That would be so fun. I'm down. I need more women to hunt with because literally I'm it. And the guy talk's getting old real fast.
Well, I have always done that, right? And so I decided, hey, I'm going to go find the women that are like-minded, and I'm going to go build a table for us with all the knowledge that I've accumulated, with the support system that I have, and hopefully help women get to their goals a lot quicker. That's really the goal. So
I think just getting more women involved, and I'm here if you ever need help.
Oh, I love that. And I love that we had such a great morning together. And so if you're listening to this, you're anywhere close to Minnesota, if you have connected with Raelynn, if you want to get involved at Wild Acre Kennels, you can find them at wildacrekennels.com. You can also find them at Wild Acre Kennels on Instagram.
And we have a cute little TikTok if you ever want to see little puppies running around. Keep following for updates. We have a litter due.
I'm not a TikTok person.
TikTok, I love and hate it because you get the funny videos. You get in this rabbit hole of watching them. And then you get on waterfowl talk. But people love to see puppies.
They do.
And training videos. And they're like, wow, that's the coolest thing. And it's usually the 18-year-old boys that are like, oh my God, I want to get involved, which is cool, but my goal is to get more women involved, not just, boys. But if more power to them.
Ladies, you can do it. You can do it. And we are here to hold your hand and pair you up with somebody locally so that you just stay connected. The opportunities are literally endless in the gun dog world for women.
Yeah, they are.
And
you just have to get out there.
Yeah, you just have to say, I want to do this, and I'm just going to figure out where my people are, because they're there.
Don't be afraid to ask questions. I think that's the biggest thing, is they're scared to fail. Well, everyone fails. You're gonna fail.
And this is an ask that I've never asked before, but we have a lot of men that listen to our podcast, and it's please share this with women that you're friends with, or with your significant other that may just be intimidated to join your group. We would love to have them.
Yes, the more the merrier.
All right. Thank you, Raelynn. I can't wait till next time.
Yes, awesome. Thank you.